Hi everyone, Mr. Oliver here from the Prendergast Library, and today we're going to talk some more about the history of the building. Now, last week, Miss Jen, talked about the picture of James Prendergast that we have out front, and then kind of the history of the building itself. So today we're going to talk about the old cemetery in Jamestown. So, for the first 5 years after Jamestown's settlement in 1810, not a single death had occurred in the village. As such, during that time, no steps were taken to select suitable grounds for a cemetery. Then on November 9, 1850, Elisha Wing, cousin of Judge Prendergast, died at his home, and then a hurried selection of the site was forced upon the village. The first cemetery was a cleared pasture on what is now 4th and Clinton. It was only accessible by a footpath leading over the fields, and then in 1817, a Mrs. William Simmons was the second adult interred in the cemetery. Then, in December 1820, that is, there was a siege of typhus fever, which continued through the winter, taking a total of 20 lives. The community had become dissatisfied with the cemetery's current location and the soil of the cemetery. It was away from all the roads, the ground was hard and stony, there weren't any gravestones, and no one knew where their loved ones' graves were. The cemetery was not fenced, and cows wandered through it at will. Judge Prendergast, seeing the people's dissatisfaction, proposed abandonment of that site and the selection of a new location. All were in favor of this idea, but they couldn't agree on a new location. Should they locate it near the proposed new congregational church that was in the New England style of the time, or should it be outside the village because of sanitation? Those are some of the questions. So finally, 2/3 of the villagers showed favor for the new location, now bounded by present Washington, 5th Street, Cherry Street, and 7th Street. Those spots is what is now the current James Prendergast Library Association in Dow Park. Judge Prendergast deeded this proposed site to the village. Before 1836, there had been little regularity in the employment of a sexton. The relatives frequently hired an ordinary laborer to dig the grave. In 1854, it suddenly dawned upon the villagers that the cemetery would be full in 10 years. It was suspected that the graveyard was contaminated with water supply. This led to the establishment of the Lakeview Cemetery in 1859 with definite rules and regulations and a sexton employment whose job it was to keep adequate records. On October 29, 1875, the Jamestown Journal printed a list of the people buried in the, quote, old cemetery that is now the site of the Prendergast Library. Many people were reburied in Lakeview Cemetery, but not all. You can find this information in the post below. Thank you. Have a good day.